Alright folks, welcome to episode 24 of the Wee Podcast. Phil here with Clarky.
Hello.
Seeing as this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, we thought we would do our part in raising awareness, as the title will obviously say. We're going to give you some facts, figures and some causes as well. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Let's go.
Once you start talking about it, you realise that actually you're part of quite a big club. What do you reckon of that then?
Nice. It's good. I like the fact that it almost sort of says like, you feel sort of like you're the only one until you realise, oh wait, in fact there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's any god's amount of people out there, like.
Yeah.
It's not just one person. But obviously today we're going to talk about mental health and stuff just generated around it, but there's that many out there that we're not going to even probably scratch the surface really, which is a bit of a shame. You'd probably need about an hour and a half, 2 hours, like, but
need a lot longer.
yeah, well, I mean, for anybody to sort of talk about it between two people, if you were having like, a big group or something, you'd have to have like a day, like a full event for it, like. But we're going to touch on a few things, so don't really know where to start because there's that many.
Well, straight off the bat, what I would say is that do talk to your friends and talk to your family and talk to whoever you feel comfortable talking to about mental health. It doesn't need to be
like professional. You have to ring
it doesn't.
up.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There are things like Samaritans that will have any god's amount of contact numbers in the description, but you don't need to talk to someone who literally is specified for that reason. Like, you can talk to literally
talk to anybody you're comfortable talking to,
because there's a guarantee they'll probably have at least had some sort of.
You'll probably find that if they haven't been through it themselves, and certainly they'll probably have some sort of
experiences with it.
Yeah. Because basically, I suppose we'll go into some stats. I've looked up some UK stuff that approximately 1 in 4 people in the UK will experience a mental health problem each year. That's 25% of the UK's population.
Yeah.
Now that's not. That's not all I have here. So this one is specifically England. That 1 in 6 people report experiencing a common mental health problem such as anxiety and depression every week.
Each week, like.
Yeah. So if you have a group of 6 friends, basically it's saying their odds are on one of you.
But that's even that in itself is saying something. Like, you say to someone, if you've got a group of 6 friends, that's good.
Yeah.
To have 6 friends.
5 people you can talk to.
You think of the people that don't have any of those friends.
Yeah.
That are still struggling with it, like.
Yeah.
They've literally no one to talk to.
What's it
problem?
What's the saying? It's like a problem shared is a problem halved or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that saying?
Yeah.
But I just thought that was those 25% of people will suffer each year. That's crazy.
That's a lot of people, like.
Yeah, it is, and there's so many. Like, honestly, like, if you get some time, look up some of these stats, like wherever you're from. We do have eventually we've got some like worldwide ones as well, but look up specifically for your own country. Like, what ones do you have there? Because they're shocking. Like, they are really shocking.
I've got this is all basically all the UK ones, because the one you said there about you said 1 in 4 people.
Yeah.
This one here says 1 in 6 adults experience a common mental health problem each week.
Yeah.
So that could be, I don't even know what that one was all about, but there's says more than 4 in 10 people have experienced depression. So
40% of people.
So yeah, but you think, say, obviously this is like one of those silly things, but if all of us were out in one night, 10 of us, say
4 people,
4 of them,
statistically speaking,
4 of them would have at least had some sort of experience with depression.
That's crazy.
But then how would you diagnose it? Would you go to the doctor, and would you?
I know you do. People can definitely.
Yeah, but would you though? Like, I know there's loads of statistics out there that says that the majority of people that do have some sort of mental health problem do not get diagnosed. They don't go to the doctor. They don't want to talk about it because they think it's embarrassing.
Oh no, it's not.
It's
not, as you say at the very, very start there. It's a bigger club. It's a big club.
It's bigger than United, like, so.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Bigger than City now.
No, well.
But no, it's very true. I mean, you wouldn't believe. I can guarantee you probably wouldn't even know half of your friends if because they just hide it so well. They don't want anyone to know about it. They don't even want to know about it themselves. So why would they say? Why would they bother someone else? You know.
I seen a really good picture of I'll say really good. It was a really good representation of what that can sort of look like. You might have seen it on Facebook. I'll actually post it on Instagram after we record tonight, so you may have already seen it. I'm possibly then on Twitter and Facebook and stuff as well.
When on the day they release the podcast, or what do you think?
No, we'll do it today.
Do it today.
We'll do it today, then people have a rough idea what we're going to be doing. But
cool.
Basically, what you'll get is you'll see the picture. It's basically a guy's head, and he's laughing, and it's like side profile, and the sort of the back of his head's like there's like a circle almost like in it, you know, where your brain would be, sort of thing. You can still see like the hair and stuff, but like in there's a guy like basically with his hands around his knees, his head down, clearly in a lot of problem, like a lot of trouble. And basically I thought that was a really good representation of the whole I'm fine thing.
It's just that's all it is. It's just a facade. Like it's just your face is just you could smile all day, but inside your mind you could just be absolutely fried. Like.
Yeah, exactly, and you know. It is going to probably be so repetitive during this, but talking about that, it sounds so stupid and so cliche.
Word. Just talk.
But it really, really is. It's like
the key word. Like
just basically.
But we talk about like we said before, we started this for the whole reason to get people talking.
Yeah.
More specifically, our gender,
because
we don't talk an awful lot. Like you said, whenever we were like researching some of these things, the majority of things you found, according to Mental Health, were all in women's magazines or something to do with women.
Yeah, it was scary. I was looking up some stats, and I was actually looking up for stories, people's stories, and it took me, and this is on Google, it took, I think it was until the 6th website down for it to even mention a guy. The other 5 were all about women or women magazines. So, and you know what? See, actually, just while we're on that, see in terms of fellas, and the reason I'm bringing this up now is obviously over the last few weeks and months, specifically where we live, we've mentioned it before in the podcast, they're having young men that have taken their own life, and in the UK, men are more likely to take their life, statistically speaking.
Yeah.
There are about 6,000 suicides in the UK each year, and men account for 3/4 of that.
3/4.
3/4. 4,500 men.
Wow.
Kill themselves every single year. It's the biggest killer of men up to the age of 49.
It's strange that they mention that because I've got something here that says 7 in every 10 women say they've experienced a mental health problem. Yeah. That's a lot of women.
Yeah.
And they've obviously not, you know, they've went and seeked it. Do you reckon they probably went and got the help before men? Because men don't, they don't really bother. They don't.
Girls talk.
Yeah, but
girls talk.
They talk to their friends, but I mean, I would say they would probably go and talk to someone specialised
possibly,
for that.
But even if not, I was about to say that. See, even just talking to friends, that can be the thing. You can be like, oh, right, okay, you know, I feel like this is a lot less. And again, like, this isn't me talking from experience, so if any of this is in any way completely off or your experience is completely different, let us know. Send us a message. You know, we always want to learn.
But it is different for every person, like.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
We talked to Natty before, and she said even talking to friends was hard, and that eventually you would talk to her, you would open up more and stuff, and sure, all of her pageant mates and stuff, so they're still on talking together, so they got a group chat and stuff, so it's something. And you even said about Rachel as well, she's got her own group chat with all of her.
They still talk,
which is something that, I mean,
crazy. It's 3 years later.
Well, the amount of group chats I've been in personally, I'm probably not a part of many of them anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Or we've got.
Nor do they last 3 years.
No, they'll just make a new one because we get bored. That's just what happens. But no, definitely talk to literally anyone. You like sometimes even a stranger is.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can help if you're comfortable with talking to anybody, because sometimes you have a fake confidence, just because you want to show people like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
There's no need to have that, you know.
Yeah.
Which is, I would say, pretty common in a lot of young men these days, like, because especially around here anyway, because that's what you see these days, and people going, I'm alright, mate, no bar, gets 10 pints and I'm sweet, you know. That's what you hear, which is kind of sort of unfortunate for our country especially.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, basically, like, I actually this is from a survey. Sorry, it's done in England every 7 years. The last time they did it was 2016. So
Okay.
it's the most up to date I could find, basically.
Yeah.
Now, this is per 100 people how common are certain specific problems.
Okay.
Right. So I picked out some basically like key ones. So for every 100 people, it's around 3.3 of them have diagnosed depression.
Diagnosed.
Diagnosed depression.
So any gods of Earth could be living with undiagnosed depression.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's depression on its own.
Yeah.
Anxiety on its own
Anxiety is a big
is
one.
5.9.
Yeah. Is that 5.9?
But that's on their own. So add those together, and then also add in mixed anxiety and depression, which is 7.8. So if you actually mixed anxiety and depression plus depression on its own plus anxiety on its own,
Yeah.
you're up to around 17 in 100 people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, and like the thing, obviously, like there's some like mental health
That's crazy.
things that obviously they lead these disorders or whatever you want to call them. They lead to
Something bigger.
They actually lead to like essential. Well, I'm just gonna have to say the word suicide. For every 100 people, 20.6 in every 100 had suicidal thoughts. 6.7 out of 100 had attempted suicide, and 7.3 in 100 people had self-harmed at some point or another. And this is in 2016.
It's
So
probably risen by now because
yeah,
it's to rise every year. I mean, like there's no help out there. Like we do say about talk that there's plenty of help, but
yeah,
if you look at the statistics, there's not an awful lot of like success in certain like the NHS is it's buggered, but it's not their fault.
no, exactly.
Like they're given a budget and they've got too many people to deal with. It's just having that you just can't do it.
It's funny, like
We touched it in the last episode with that, and it just
Yeah.
wasn't good enough.
And I actually have figures to back that up now. So now specifically, this is Northern Ireland.
Okay, but that to be fair, that's pretty much the big one of the UK anyway. So
So specifically in Northern Ireland, the overall health budget is £4.9 billion. Okay, so the total amount of that that's given to mental health is 225 million.
that's just stupid.
So it is not even taken.
Doesn't scratch
It's
this.
nowhere near that.
No.
Like honestly, like it explains why.
The resources are just done.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, in fact, it'll explain why these other things all add together. So again, in Northern Ireland, so our 5 health trusts, the Northern Health Trust and blah blah blah, Belfast Health Trust,
Yeah.
they all missed. Every single one of them missed the 13-week target for treating people with mental illnesses. Every single one of them. Mental health illnesses in Northern Ireland is 25% higher than the rest of the UK. So it sort of
It's
sticks
funny.
with.
It's funny because you say that because out of all those those city things, like the city, like the happiest city in the UK.
Yeah.
Belfast is up there.
Yeah, possibly.
But it's not just that. Like if you go, people just aren't like they're just not truthful when it comes to surveys and stuff.
Yeah. They say what you want.
But
they
see,
want
when if
you
you're
to
by
say.
yourself and you do it yourself, like honestly, there's surveys out there for mental health. There are surveys out there. I mean, we did one earlier on. It was specifically done within 2 weeks of your life, the past 2 weeks of your life, and you have 7 questions basically, and you can answer them between 6 different things, and
Strongly agree, strongly disagree, or whatever it was.
or in between, or rarely, blah 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 blah. But you can check it out and see where exactly your average is. If you're on the national average, if you're below it, if you're above it, check it out at least because it's
simplistic.
it's simplistic, but it's effective as well because it'll give you some sort of insight as to if I haven't been feeling the best or I've been feeling amazing or whatever,
Yeah.
just check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, basically, believe it or not, again, sticking with Northern Ireland, mental illness is the single biggest cause of disability in this country.
Yeah, well, that's due to like substance abuse as well. Because I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it's specifically mental health. So like, essentially, it says
substance
here.
abuse is also a form. That's what happens. You would
Oh yeah,
depressed,
it's like
you would take it,
from
and
it.
you would
yeah,
which is just incredible. Like I mean, I've got a quote here. Well, not a quote. Sorry, I've got a fact here. Only 13% of people in the UK report living with high levels of good mental health.
Many?
13% with good mental health.
Oh my goodness.
13% of the UK.
My word. Right.
How on earth? 13% is not a lot of people. Like, well, it is a lot of people, but it's not an awful lot in percentage wise.
Well, yeah, well, it means 87% aren't.
Yeah.
So
They could
aren't
be-
reporting it.
But that could mean they're in average. They could be below average. They're not above average because that's not good mental health living conditions. Like, and I think people these days sort of focus on the physical health of things, going to the gym and stuff, and sometimes that does help mental health.
Yeah, it can,
because you could be like, oh well, if I don't really look the best, I'll be like, well, get to a certain shape, get to a certain size, and you'll be happy within yourself. But it's more than that sometimes, and it's not just due to physicality. You can't just be like, well, I'll lose a couple of pounds and I'm instantly happier.
Yeah,
and that's not how it works. Sometimes people do that and go, I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
Same thing with having loads of money.
Yeah.
You could have millions and millions and still not be as happy as you would with, it just doesn't matter.
No,
it's just all within your head, and you just have to try and just ooze it out of your ears. You can't just live with it. It's impossible to live with.
Yeah, I mean,
the end result is suicide, and that's just not. It's just not acceptable.
It's funny, like, you obviously mentioned there about how common basically it is and etc. Basically, the fact that most of these are essentially, sorry, when I say most, I'll actually give you the fact here. 75% of problems are actually completely established by the time you're 24 years old.
Yeah, I read that as well.
Essentially, by that point, you will either have or not have what you're going to have. Mm-hmm. So basically, they say that 1 in 10 or 10% of children between the ages of 5 and 16 are diagnosable.
Yeah.
Half.
Well, that's with like ADHD and stuff like that.
Yeah. Half with any sort of mental health issue by the age of 14 are usually established and discovered, and then, as I say, by the time you're 24, 10 years later, 75% basically are discovered.
Yeah.
But obviously I mentioned the money there. In our country it's 225 million. By 2020 to 2021 in England, they want to have 1.28 billion more money on top of what they've already spending. So in 2-3 years they want
like six odd billion or whatever it was.
I'm not sure, to be honest. It doesn't give you a original amount, but
it was 4.9, wasn't it, the original, which is the budget at the minute?
Well, that's not for us, that's for them. We don't get it. They're giving themselves an extra 1.2 billion for mental health. So we're gonna have to find that somewhere, hopefully.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no wonder where the top one. It's not fun to be the leading country.
No, it's not, and it's really, really sad that we are.
It's just not.
It really is.
It's unacceptable. The amount of things that could be done that could be done just via the budget. I mean.
Well, we need a government first, don't we?
Well, we need a government, but that's not going to happen, is it? I mean, they're just being idiots. But we're not going to get into politics because
it's a whole other.
We don't want to waste your time with it, but mental health in the workplace is also quite a different thing as well.
Yeah.
Because I've got a fact here that says that only a third of the UK workers, so around 33%, who have experienced a mental health problem have felt supported by their work manager.
I would get that, and I'm not saying
that shouldn't be a problem.
But you see, that's the thing. I'm not saying any of the bosses I've ever had are nasty people.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I just don't think they
understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of them will just be like, oh, well, what about the business? Because that's their job to worry about the business.
Yeah.
Where, and I would totally understand that, because I know, like, for example, I've had jobs basically where people have went off and, be it on stress, and they're just like, oh, they're off on stress, as in, big deal, they're off on stress. But, stress can obviously have a massive impact.
It has a massive impact
on a person.
Yeah.
And physically, if that stress is coming from work, physically, it can completely cause you to, basically break down,
overeat, undereat, and that's also part of You could have eating disorders. You could eat too much. You could eat too less, and that, like you said also there about, was it between 5 and age 5 and 16, or 8 and 16? Was it, or 5 and 16?
5 and 16.
5 and 16.
5 and 14. Sorry, 5 and 14.
I think it was 16.
I'm pretty. I'm just checking the page. 16. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
You think, like, whenever you see it, like, on Twitter and stuff, or even Instagram and stuff like that, there, like, well, I haven't seen now, obviously, because I'm not of that age anymore. But like back in the day, I remember I used to go into school and stuff and seeing girls being like, "Oh, I can't have that donut."
Yeah.
Because blah 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 is like 2 sizes smaller than me. It's
Yeah.
like, why try and put yourself in someone else's shoes to be like, well, I'm gonna be like size 0 or 0 point whatever it is. Like, it's just stupid. Like, I mean, I just want to know what goes through their minds. They'd be like, yeah, I should probably try and cut down a few or 4, like 5 or 6 sizes. Like, but that could be stress. A good eat, undereat, and that could
It's
cause
also
another
social
disorder.
pressure though. Like if you think like if you look at, it's maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of touch with that whole side of things now. But from what I remember, like a lot of it would have been like, you know, I don't know who was really attractive whenever we were younger. Eva Longoria is like
Sandra Bullock.
Okay. So Sandra Bullock's a size 6, you know, and every girl in the year, or not every girl, but anybody that looked at her or looked up to her and was like, oh my goodness, like she's a size 6 and I'm a size 10. Like what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, 2 size difference, very very little in it, really.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the same thing in men.
It's
now
just
as well.
dysmorphia. Like it's body dysmorphia. It's where you look at yourself and you know you look perfectly fine, and if you're listening to this, you look fine. But like,
well, thank you very much.
But you know, you look at yourself and you go, all you see are like, oh my god, look at that.
It's all the imperfections.
Look at that, yeah. Whereas somebody
right.
else will look at you, they won't notice that, and that'll be that. Like, I'm going to see Darren Brown next week. I don't know if I've told this in the podcast or not. Pretty sure I've told you before, but I went to see one of his shows a few years ago, and he came out, sat on stage, just one spotlight on the stool. He sat on it. And the whole thing was basically, the show was around how you make things bigger in your mind, like a bigger deal in your mind than
what actually
than
is.
what they actually are. So like his whole story was he sat down on the stool and Darren Brown said, you know, obviously he's gay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
but he didn't come out till quite late, didn't he? He came out quite late.
Yeah, it was maybe I think his 20s, I think.
Yeah.
But that's what the whole story was. Essentially he knew he was gay. But he was building up to telling everyone, as you say, in his 20s, and he was like, "Oh, like what am I gonna do? Everyone's gonna freak out, and you know, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And he says that when he told his friends, they went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Whenever he told his parents, they're like, "We know," you know, and no one reacted in any way like he thought they would.
Yeah.
So he basically put this thing.
The
This
stigma in his
huge
head.
big,
is
this
just,
huge big. This is going to be a massive deal. But to everyone else, they were like, "Yeah, well, you're still Darren. It's fine."
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's in the same way that, you know, people look at themselves and go, you know, oh, I can't see my abs, or oh my goodness, you know, I've got love handles and blah blah blah. But you know what? It doesn't matter.
No,
like, it really,
I know.
and that's like one issue. Like, and obviously, all of these, I suppose, disclaimer now, all of these will probably link together, like, because, you know, body
More than
dysmorphia
likely.
could cause you stress, anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
Stress, anxiety, depression could lead to you eating too much. It could lead to you eating too little. You know, there's, as we said at the start, there are a million different things that we're probably not going to be able to touch on.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've forgiven us by that. By like 20 minutes in.
Yeah. Well,
But,
I mean, I think it is, like I said before, like it's gonna take it would take until the end of time before you would even get through everything. Like, which is also a bit of the problem, that because you don't really know. You're gonna go to a specialist as well, and if they, like, you never know what's gonna happen in there. You don't know what they're gonna say. They could be like, "I know you're fine," and then you can go home and be like, "No,
Yeah,
I'm not fine.
Yeah,
but you're
and
not
you
gonna help
know.
me." Yeah,
You will know.
yeah. But if you're in yourself and you're like, "Yeah, no, I know there's something wrong," like, just say to anybody. Like, I mean, if it's not, if you're
Your
not
parents
comfortable-
want to know.
yeah, of course they want to know. Like you said,
Yeah.
they're Darren Brown. If they said, "Yeah, we know," like,
Yeah.
like
Of
it
course,
doesn't
you're
matter.
still our son, doesn't matter.
But because obviously you think before you talk to anybody, like, well, this is a huge deal.
Uh-huh.
Like, if I say this to anybody, they're gonna either disown me, hate me, or blah blah blah. They're not gonna do anything. And if they do, good riddance.
Yeah. If it's a big deal
See you
to
later.
you, they will react in a way that they're going to be helpful and useful
Yeah.
and supportive, and everything else.
You can't reiterate that like any
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
there's no any amount of time, like you have to just deal with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't just be sitting there and be like around negative people.
Yeah, it
It's
won't help.
like if you're a
Mhm.
negative person, you're around negative people, that's gonna just hurt you even
Yeah.
more. It's gonna do
Yeah.
anybody any good.
It will.
If you surround
Actually,
people,
it's a really good wee saying I used to know. So basically, I used to know, I still know it, but I used to hear
not
is that
anymore.
it's easier to pull someone off a table than onto it.
Yeah,
So
unless you're really strong.
if you're, basically
Like
it's
the Hulk,
easier.
just
It's
pick
easier
them
to drag someone down than it is to pull someone up.
Yeah.
So if you're around negative Nellies, don't be around them. Try and
up.
find
Or
someone that's
if-
gonna.
But if you do really like them, try and get some sort of positivity into them or something. Because maybe they're feeling a bit depressed.
Talk to them.
Maybe that's the reason why they've got negativity or negative problems, or
Whatever.
just try and talk to them if they,
Yep.
because everyone has something to say,
Yep.
regardless of what it is. Like,
Yeah, we've got like 20-something episodes of it now.
well, yeah, exactly. It's just us talking absolute cake. But this week is not. We've already had an episode of mental health as well, and it's just people just need to realize it more.
So
and,
important.
yeah, like it is mental awareness week, and it's just like I've seen a few things. I think Mark Hamill posted a tweet as well, and
Did I have seen that?
I think he did, and Ryan Reynolds I think hasn't. Lemmy as well, Lemmy jumped the
Scottish
chasm.
fella? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
He posted for mental hair. No, it would have been Mark Hamill because that's not in America. It's over in the UK.
Ryan Reynolds was mentioning it.
Yeah, he mentioned it. Yeah, but he was in the UK.
And...
He was in the
Oh,
UK.
was he?
He was in the
Okay,
UK
okay.
recently. Yeah, but no, that like Lemmy and stuff. He's been posting things on Twitter, and like he's obviously went through like depression and alcohol
Yeah.
abuse and stuff, and he said he's had a bit of a rough year this year, but he's
Mhm.
obviously just going to try and get back on top and try and get a better diet and stuff,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
will eventually help your mental
It
health
can
anyway.
help, yeah.
But yeah, you just need to be,
Well,
need to know
it's,
what
it's
it
a good
is.
point because it affects everyone, as you say. Like he's probably a local celebrity. Would he be a national celebrity?
Oh, he's definitely
We know he is, I
UK, not
yeah.
national, but
Yeah. So like essentially like, well then I suppose I'll just put them out here. So I have some quotes. So basically this one is from J.K. Rowling, however you say it.
the Harry Potter
People have
one.
a different author of Harry Potter, yeah. But basically, what she said was, "I've never been remotely ashamed of having been depressed. Never. What's to be ashamed of? I went through a really tough time, and I'm quite proud that I got out of that."
Yeah.
Really positive.
Yeah.
Really, really positive.
But then the thing is, right? People see their depression stuff as a failure, but see, whenever
Mhm.
you get out of that, that's a success story.
Yep.
Like that's just what it
It's
is.
the first step you take.
That's the
is-
step to
to
success.
success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And another one. This is huge because everyone in the world knows who this guy is.
Yeah.
So Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Huge, obviously massive celebrity.
Yeah.
He actually suffered depression in his early 20s.
Yeah.
So obviously, a wee while ago now.
Yeah, he's old now. Like
He's 40s, isn't he?
he's an old man,
But,
but he's a good looking man, so he's
he is.
alright.
He is. But basically, he said this. So I find that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not going to be the last to go through it. And I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and say, "Hey, it's going to be okay. It'll be okay."
Yeah, 100%. That's
So-
just like that's all you need. Like
Mhm.
people, you hear about people. I'm sure people that have some sort of mental health problem are sort of sick of hearing people going like, "Well, stop comparing me to blah blah blah." You're going to go through it in your own way.
Everything's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Everything's going to be different, but at the end of the day, the goal is going to be the same.
Yeah.
So just try and get through as much as you can, and
Mhm.
easier ways you can find it, go ahead and do them. Or if you have to get rid of people, get rid of people. If you've got to silence yourself, or if you've got to like
Take
put
care of
yourself
yourself.
away, yeah, just,
That's it.
just
Take care of yourself.
yeah. The three words about life, it goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This too shall pass.
No, here we go again. But no, I would agree. It does. That quote is pretty specific,
Apt.
and yeah, it's annoying, but yeah, no, very good. I've got we're talking about younger people at the minute, but I've got one about age 55 people, between age 55 and 65.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I didn't see too much on this.
Yeah, well, this is quite like positive, which is
Yeah.
so if you're going through something, just wait till you're 55 and you'll be fine. No, but it says people age 55 and above are the most likely to take positive steps to help themselves deal better with everyday life, such as spending time with friends and family, going for walks, learning new things, eating healthily, and getting enough sleep. Which is at 55 would not be hard to do, I would say.
You know what I find really interesting about that?
Mm.
What age do you retire?
Yeah, exactly. Well, not anymore though, because we don't retire till like
300 years old.
yeah, exactly. Whereas people can retire whenever they're between mid-50s and 70.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. You know, it sort of clicked with me whenever you said spending time. I was like, well, yeah, because if you think about it, you know, you're in what 9 to
5.
9 to 5.
The majority of jobs be 9 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
8 hours, 10 hours, depending on.
well, yeah, 10 hours including travel for most people. Really, if you think, you know, probably an hour ish, and then 8 hours. You know, so you're awake for what 17 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you're spending over 2/3 of your time away from everyone.
Yeah.
You know, so and that doesn't include time getting ready and stuff. So you may have say 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
5 hours a day to actually spend with family and friends. So, but at that age, obviously, you get
can do
all that time,
Yeah.
and you know, as you say, you can take better care of your health by going to sleep earlier, or getting up whenever you need to. You know, going out and about for walks during the day, whatever. I don't know what people do. I know what I would like to do, but
Well, that's a funny thing, because I was watching a video the other day, and I'm not too sure. I think it was either 86,400 or 84,600. I think it was pretty sure it was 86,400. But there was a fella basically was saying, like, right, okay, so would you be happy, right, if you had, say, $86,400 in your bank account every single day? Like, regardless, so even if you spent it in that day, it would still be gone, but you still wake up with it the next day. And eventually, he changed the dollars into time. I think it's like 86,400 seconds or something in your day-to-day life or something, whatever it was. But you could be the mathematician there and work that out with 24 hours and stuff. But, I mean, time is very, very easily spent doing nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to try at least and do something with your day. And I know having depression, well, I don't, but I know the factors of having depression. Sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes you don't even want to get into bed. You know, and I'm sure time then it just seems irrelevant because you don't really care about it anymore.
Yeah.
But if you can, at least in the mornings or in the afternoons, whatever time you get up, even if you get up at night time, get out and go somewhere. Just even go get some fresh air or something. Listen to some good tunes. Watch a good film.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps, even a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I actually, just this on what potentially could help. I read a book a while ago. Again, I don't see. Sometimes I forget whether I've told you, whether I've told this, but I'm just gonna say it again.
You've told the self-help book.
The book. Reasons
the
to
dirty
stay.
book.
Reason. No, the book. It's Reasons to Stay Alive.
No, the Bible.
By it's a book. It's a book by Matt Haig.
Yes, you have. You've
if
briefly touched on, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really good. It's essentially his journey through depression and anxiety, and it's because he's gorgeous with words. See the way he writes. It's amazing.
I hate people like that because I wish I could be them.
No, like honestly,
I have such trouble with words.
Like I was reading the book, and it's really hard to explain. But whenever I was reading this book, I would so highly recommend it. But whenever I was reading the book, essentially, I think whenever I was reading his experiences with it, I was sort of thinking like,
you could relate to it, sort of thing.
Well, no, that's the thing. I think I was sort of like, you know, I think I've been like really sad, but I don't think I've been depressed.
Yeah.
Now at the time of reading it, if I was to read it again in a year's time, then maybe I'd be like, oh God, I get that.
Yeah.
You know, but he essentially goes through all the different, you know, like panic attacks and all the different things that were basically with his conditions. But I follow him on Twitter actually as well, and he openly tweets about it every single day, basically saying, well, not every day, but you know, most days he'll tweet and say, feeling really good today, blah blah blah, not feeling so great today, and he's really open with it, and it's really good.
It's good to see that, but the worst thing you ever see on like Twitter and stuff would be people going, you're just putting it on, but and I hate people that do that.
But that's just social media.
It is, but that's also that's the worst thing.
Social pressure again, isn't it? So
the worst thing about it.
But it's funny actually that, you know, there was another survey done, and this was about basically their experiences of and their attitudes towards mental health.
Right.
Okay. Like some of this is, to be honest, I was really shocked because these are Irish teenagers. Late teens, early 20s, answering these questions.
So immature people then.
Well, people that like to consider themselves open-minded, I think, and you'll understand why I'm saying that. So
Okay.
the questions are as follows. This, first of all, is the experiences of mental health. And this is in terms of percentage of the answers.
Yeah.
Okay. That said they've had this or haven't. So, do you currently have or have you ever had a friend with a mental health problem?
Yeah.
Now, 36% said yes. I don't believe that is correct for a second. I just think people don't know.
So you would think that they would lie then?
No, I just think they haven't spoken to their friends and they don't know.
Oh. Well, I know for a fact a good few of my friends have a mental health problem.
But that's what I mean. Like, we have certainly spoken to friends about it
Mhm.
and things, but like, I would be very surprised if only 36% of people knew someone or friends with someone.
Yeah,
that
it should
have
be a
had
bit higher.
I think that is, I don't know, maybe that's just me being cynical, but I find that like,
Would you think they'd be embarrassed to say that then?
no, I don't think it's the person answering it. I think it's the fact that, like, say for example you were answering it and I had depression, I just didn't ever tell you. You wouldn't know to say yes.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
what I mean.
Apart from you, but I would say yes anyway though.
But you know what I mean, like,
Because it's true.
no, but that. Well, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think maybe out of the remaining
They just don't
64
talk
that
to
said
you.
no, they'll be like, well, in fact, I just actually don't know.
Yeah. So
But-
there should have been really of a that's a yes or no then, isn't it?
That was a yes or no.
There
36%
should have been a
said
don't know
yes.
thing there, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Essentially.
unfair, I think.
But the question is literally just as do you? So yes, 36%. Are you currently working with or have you ever worked with someone with a mental health problem?
It has to be quite a lot of people.
22%.
So
come on.
That's not right.
And
Unless they're working in some sort of like
that just
perfect
backs
world.
up what you said, about a lot of people feel uncomfortable talking about mental health and work
Yeah.
because they're concerned that their boss wouldn't, understand or whatever.
Anyone that has a boss like that, the boss doesn't deserve to be a boss.
No,
It's
because
as simple as that.
you
Like,
do need to take care of your people. It's like
you have
that
to take, you have to
Richard
take,
Branson saying,
take care of your customers and
what is it? Train your staff so they're good enough to leave. Treat them well enough so they don't want to.
yeah, There's another quote, but I can't remember what it was.
Probably many. He's very wise and rich. So
Well, it wasn't Richard Branson. I don't think that was Bill Gates, I think.
this one again. Do you currently have or have you ever had a mental health problem? 20% said yes, which is, it's fine at that age. Possibly they just don't know, or maybe they haven't really.
Well,
ever-
but until I think, statistically speaking, 24 is the maximum age that you would have your development. You would know about it.
75% of people
Yeah.
would know about it by then, but
But then 22. What was it? Sorry,
20%.
20% said they.
They've had one for sure. At a late teens.
Do you reckon that's down to people not wanting to admit it to a stranger?
Possibly. That's why I think a lot of these are open to sort of debate. Like,
It is kind of unfair because, like, unless people really are that open minded and they genuinely don't care, like, if people really ask me something, like I said before, I'm an open book, so I don't mind telling a complete randomer,
yeah,
whatever, if it helps them, like, but maybe that is the case, that they just don't want to be like, no, not going to tell you, sorry.
No, I know. I mean,
Like, that's
basically,
80%, that's very unlikely.
yeah. Well, are you currently living with, or have you ever lived with someone with a mental health problem? Now, for example, a lot of these people probably haven't actually really. Maybe they've lived out for uni or whatever. They're answering this, or maybe they live at home. 18% have said yes. So a lot of what I was getting from the 18. So a lot of what I was getting
it doesn't
was
make any
that
sense.
communication is the issue.
Yeah, 100% it is, but I mean, if you, I don't know, I'm biased.
But that's experience, right? The bit that will probably shock you and possibly everyone listening are the attitudes towards mental health.
Towards mental health, right? Okay.
So, essentially, they're the same question as to what I've just asked. So, do you know a friend with one? Ever worked with someone? Ever had one or lived with one? Right?
Okay.
So, in the future, I would be willing to continue a friendship or relationship with someone who developed a mental health problem.
Yeah. So yes.
83% of people said yes, which means 17% of people
Said no.
were not interested in being friends with someone with mental health issues.
What's wrong with them?
That's good question. Um,
What is the basis of this? Because surely the God, that has to be 100%.
you would think, but
What is the
obviously
basis of it?
17% of those people should not be friends.
Maybe they
with
were
whoever
just
they're
drunk or
friendly with.
something. I don't
No,
know.
no, this is just standard student sort of work and ask you questions, and this is what's come back.
I'd love to go out to Belfast one day and just ask these questions to people.
Be interesting, wouldn't
I'd love to get some sort of statistics from it, yeah.
it? Would be interesting. In the future, I would be willing to work with someone with a mental health problem.
Yeah.
70% of people said yes, which means 30% of people in this survey did not want to work with someone with a mental health
30% are obviously bosses.
problem. No, but that's just... I just think this is really horrible. Like, why anyone should be treated differently with a mental health problem is just... It's wrong, and it's really... Like, some of this is really, really hard listening, and really hard reading as well.
It'd be nice to see sort of like going in work one week, like say if you got a new job, right, just to test it out.
Yeah.
Go into work one week, completely fine. The following Monday, go in and tell your boss you've got anxiety. See how different they treat you from the first week and the second week.
Yeah, I mean...
People say anxiety, oh, you're just worried too much.
Mhm.
That's what anxiety means, that you're
Yeah.
worried, but that's not what it means.
Yeah.
Like that the word means you're worried, but that's just not what
Yeah,
it has. That's
exactly.
just, yeah.
Exactly, and the thing is as well is that...
Oh,
you
it does
could
my
go
head
in-
in.
Yeah, you could go in and, as you say, oh, I've got anxiety,
Yeah.
and they would be like, okay. But if you went in and you said, oh, I've got a stomach ulcer, I need to go for emergency surgery
They'd be
next
like, oh,
week,
yeah, straight, go
they'd
ahead.
be like, yeah, no, seriously, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
But that's because
just
it's physical.
yeah, it's because
They
it's
can see it.
considered invisible, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
But then at the same time, I would almost argue that you can see it.
Oh, you can see it in people. You
know-
if you're friends with someone and you don't notice they've got something seriously wrong with them, you're not a good friend. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. That's just the truth. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
don't
that's
ignore it.
no. If you see someone and they just don't look as happy as they used to be,
Yeah,
ask them what's wrong. If they say nothing,
it's like that advert.
probe. Yeah,
Oh,
the elephant in the
Yeah,
in
in the
Ford.
van.
Absolutely brilliant
Yeah.
campaign. Annoyed that they used the Ford van though, but I understand why.
Talk to me, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one.
I understand why they use the Ford van because it's a Ford advert.
Yeah, it's
But-
a nice advert.
It's annoying. I like the message behind it, but I don't like the use it. They should have used like a Ford van with
What's the
like
elephant
Ford.
in there? Oh, sorry, not you didn't have a problem with the elephant. Sorry.
No, it's the van.
See for a second, I was like, what's wrong with the elephant?
No, that's the whole point of it. Is what's the elephant in the room? You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good advert. Now this one, this one's actually a really sad statistic. In the future, I'd be willing to live with someone with a mental health problem. 54% said yes.
That's close to half. Like,
Yeah, 54%.
said
That's
they
just-
wouldn't live with, or they
no,
would.
they wouldn't want to.
Sorry, 54% said they wouldn't want to live with
They
someone.
would, so
Oh, they would.
46%
Okay.
said they wouldn't, which is insane. I mean, that there, for me, is...
See the thing, because it's very vague saying mental health because that could literally mean anything from anxiety, depression, schizophrenia. Like, I mean,
just psychopathy? Psychopathy? I don't know how you say that.
I don't know. So yeah.
Psychopathy.
Just don't start saying words you don't know what it's just bad because you're just getting a bubble you don't know what you're saying. But like it's a very vague term saying mental health because that could be anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were to say to me, would you want to live with someone that has schizophrenia? Probably not.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, acceptable because they shouldn't be. They should get help.
Is it because it's a scary word or because you don't know what it is? Because I have to admit, a lot of my understanding...
Well, if it's severe schizophrenia, then you shouldn't be out.
But I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Schizophrenia.
Is that where you hear voices?
It's basically just like, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like, things aren't what they seem. So, say if I know it's like sort of like paranoia in a sense. I don't know, but I've read some things on it, like, but I think schizophrenia just literally means that you're just always on edge and you've got to do something. You take an obsession with something as well. Like I've read of there's a fella that took a real fancy with like making stuff like dangerous weapons and
Yeah.
and I just think they just sort of didn't like people and they didn't really, it's not that they didn't like people, they just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Which is, I just think it's crazy that you can just sort of
It's just,
snap.
it's funny, it's like...
But it is a
We
scary word all the
automatically...
same.
It is because you're like, oh, what is that? But then the thing is...
It's just depression.
Well, yeah, it is. It's obviously it's horrible, but like, for example...
It's just not as physical as
I only
schizophrenia.
learned recently, bipolar because anytime you heard, oh, they're bipolar, you'd be like, oh, it means they have two personalities, but that's not the case.
No, you
Like-
got up, you like a roller coaster of a
Yeah,
person.
it's just you can have mood swings, and you can get depression, anxiety, and blah blah blah. Countless other things. To be honest, I'm absolutely in no way an expert.
qualified.
Like,
Neither of us are
yeah,
qualified
like,
for this. Like,
but
but
it's mainly just
it's what the week's for. We're raising awareness for it. And
exactly.
if it
it's
helps
awareness.
anybody, even one person, that's the job done.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, like that's the whole reason behind
Exactly.
the episode. But just how thankful we should be. We have the NHS and we have all these different diagnostics, right? Back in the day, people could have had all this and not even known.
You see, that's the thing. It's funny you say back in the day. I have here from the World Health Organization,
Oh Christ!
right? That
These are bound to be nuts. Excuse the word.
some of these, some of these are really shocking. Like, this is worldwide, so around 450 million people on this planet currently suffer from mental health or neurological disorders.
Jesus.
Nearly 2/3 of those people never actually go to
That's not surprising though.
an actual health professional,
Yeah.
be it because of the stigma, discrimination, neglect of actually going, to that.
I think that's just
So like they've
it's
actually got a really
heartbreaking
nice
that
way
they
saying.
think that you could even could be embarrassing and stuff. It's
Well,
just
That's the thing, and like there's a lovely saying here: where there's neglect, there's little or no understanding.
Yeah.
There is no understanding, there's neglect.
Yeah.
So
100%.
unless perfect example. There now, I was like, I don't really know what that is.
What's schizophrenia?
Yeah, because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
But like, essentially, this report's actually entitled. If anybody wants to read it, it's called "New Understanding, New Hope."
New
Okay.
hope.
But if you want to read it,
I
feel
understand why
free.
you like it.
Yeah, nice wee Star Wars reference.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's got some really, really nice sort of paragraphs in it. I'll read part of this one anyway. So, mental illness is not a personal failure. In fact, if there is a failure, it's to be found in the way we have responded to people with mental health and brain disorders.
Yeah.
So, it's not to say that someone with a mental health disorder
That's the
is
people
one with a failure.
Yeah.
It's the ones that have not actually
treated them.
or helped in any way, shape, or form if they are
I
qualified
think it's
to
a
do
bit
so.
discriminatory there though,
Why?
because like we've all said, like it's the budget's a big thing, and if you don't have the funds to do it, you can't do it. Like
Yeah,
I'm
I would
sure,
agree.
and I can guarantee there's any gods among the doctors and professionals out there that want to help everyone they can.
But that's why it's saying it's failure if we haven't responded to it. So if you don't, like, the
Yeah.
people that aren't putting the money in that budget are failing the people
Yeah.
that need the help.
It's not the health.
It's not the
system,
doctors.
it's
they
the,
can only do what they
It's the
have.
government basically.
Yeah,
But sure,
exactly.
we know that. We know that's the problem.
Exactly.
The government's the problem for the world at the minute. It's just that's the reason why we're crap. So
Yeah, it's to be honest, with you, it's a complete disaster. Like, the report mentions as well that depressive disorders are currently the 4th leading cause of global disease, but by 2020 they're expected to be 2nd, behind only heart disease.
that's to do with the big ones. Like that's like cancer and
Yeah, everything.
brain. No, it's just
Only behind heart disease, and I would assume heart disease is only so high is because our diets can be terrible,
yeah.
and
But can also
just-
be dying to mental health as well.
it
disorders.
could be, and like this, some of the stats, like honestly, they are truly shocking. So basically, in this report, they state that more than 40% of countries have no mental health policy. Yeah, this is worldwide. 30% have no mental health program, and about 25% have no mental health legislation whatsoever. So
I'd love to see what sort of countries then are in the top, because to me it seems like the ones with all these sort of-
Ireland's 4th in the planet.
and we have facilities.
Mhm.
So the places that don't have them aren't up there.
Well, they could be, but Ireland is currently, I know it was 4th in the planet for having mental health issues, but whether that's per capita or as in like in terms of pure numbers, I very much doubt it's pure numbers. I would say it's per like
Yeah.
100 or per 1,000 or per million or whatever. But
Still though, I'd love to know what countries here don't have these facilities that because
yeah, I can only assume, and it doesn't say in the report unfortunately, but I can only assume that a lot of them are for like third world countries, second world countries, and things like that.
Do you reckon
But just-
they're not up there because no one's bothered to do a statistic down there?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I wish it gave me more information. As I say, it doesn't list the countries in like order or anything. I don't know whether that's something they do, but like, well, I suppose this may sort of help. But basically, this is crazy. So, more than 33% of countries on this planet allocate less than 1% of their total health budget to mental health. So under 1%.
How?
Another 33% spend 1%, which means 2/3 of this planet spend 1% of their health budget or less
That's ridiculous.
on mental health.
I understand there are worse things out there, like actually having diseases and stuff. I mean, I know
Yeah, but
mental health.
there's no way it's only 1%. It's worth 1%.
It can't be. There's no way.
It's just not
If
enough.
that's the case, you've already given up on the people that have mental health issues.
I mean, it's a lot of. It sounds like we're talking about money at times, but basically,
But that's a big thing. Like that's the reason why the majority of the people are failing. They
Yeah.
can't get treated. There's not enough funding.
well, perfect. Funny you say that. 25% of countries on this planet don't even have the 3 most commonly prescribed drugs to treat schizophrenia, depression, and epilepsy. At the primary health level, like basic health level, 25%. So, in some countries, there is only 1 psychiatrist per 100,000 people. Sorry, that's in over half the countries in the world. Over 50% of countries in the world have 1 psychiatrist per 100,000 people.
There's probably more qualified psychiatrists in America than there probably is in Africa.
Possibly.
Like, they should just send
Possibly.
some over.
Possibly in the entire continent.
That's just stupid.
40% of countries in the world have less than 1 hospital bed reserved for mental disorders per 10,000 people.
Oh dear.
So,
Why on earth is it just failing on everything? Like I just don't understand what. There has to be a reason behind it. Like
I'm
is
really
it
not
money?
sure.
Like is it money? Is it wages for themselves? Like what is it? Like do you know what I mean? Like you said before, we haven't even got a government here.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
what are they doing to help anybody that even has anything wrong with them here? Like what are they doing? They're just too busy talking about
yeah,
themselves.
we need to
how
make
much
sure
they're
we're all
gonna get.
speaking English all the time and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
basically, the report, and spoiler alert if you're going to read the report, but basically it says that new knowledge will have a massive impact basically on how individual societies and everyone basically deals with mental health disorders. So basically, we can't just put people in mental health institutions anymore like
No,
they
that
did.
makes it's the same
You
thing as
know,
prisons,
way
isn't it?
back. You can't do that anymore. It doesn't
No.
work. They lose like social skills, and there's a lot of human rights violations basically.
Well, that's what it's basically
um,
prison. It's just not fair in them.
So basically, what it suggests is countries need to move towards setting up community care alternatives,
Yeah.
and making sure that, you know, as they do start to phase out like the institutions that these are there, like, you know,
To
could
guide them,
just move people into so that they're not, because
Well, like you said, community is a big word.
yeah,
Like that's the sense. That's how you get better. You got a sense of community. You want to talk to people. You want to try and help each other. That's just that's how you fix things.
is that not what we're here for as well?
Yeah, like do you think you're just put on there to go, I'm gonna create a podcast here, but I'm gonna just spill out just a little bit. And this is my podcast. Do you know what I mean? Like you're supposed to help.
Thanks
each
for
other.
doing the art.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're welcome. I'm gonna put my name against it. But I mean, yeah, 100%. That's the whole reason why. If we're not here to help people, then what are we here for?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what else are we here for?
It's like that.
We help people every day. Gaming.
What's the Anakin Skywalker quote?
Oh dear.
This universe would be better if everybody just helped each other. What is it?
I don't know.
It's something like that.
I'm not good on quotes.
It's episode 1. It's Star Wars episode 1. Somebody will know. It's something like that. This universe would be a better
Probably
place.
Jen.
Yeah, Jen might know. This universe would be a better place if everyone just helped each other. It's something like that. But it's right. I mean,
100%
of all
it's
the
right.
dodgy, odd, like,
Cliches.
yeah, and like writing in that film, it's a good line. Like that is so true. Like if everyone just helped each other a bit more and talked and communicated, and
It's half the battle. Like
it is.
it's half the battle. The other half is literally having the support from your own countrymen. your own government. You're just it just sucks like because like we said we're the top ones there and we don't even have a government. Like we don't even have anybody that even cares about us. They just care about their own salary.
Yeah, and they're still getting paid.
And they're still getting paid for doing
It's been
nothing.
18 months.
Yeah, they're still getting paid for doing absolutely nothing.
The thing is, as well, is
And when
that,
they come back, what are they going to do?
well, the thing is, we keep voting them in, so it really does have to come down to the fact that
We have no other choice though.
we do, but we just don't pick it because we're all so scared of what the outcome is. But
What do you
basically, what?
What do you mean?
Like, we'll be like, there's obviously the choices of
What DUP
the
and
main
Sinn-
parties, DUP, Sinn Féin.
I'm not
also
scared of-
UUP,
I'm not scared
there's
about-
also blah blah blah.
I'm not scared about
But-
voting for any party. These are the only parties we have.
Yeah, but we've never had anybody else in charge, like, ever.
No, I know.
So basically,
We need to
we've
change.
never.
We need to change.
We
100%.
do, and anyone in Northern Ireland listen to this, we need to change because
Yeah.
it's clearly not working.
No, we're not.
I personally think this genuine opinion. See if we vote two parties in and they can't agree. I don't think they should be allowed to run the next election
No,
because
I
they
agree.
clearly are not trusted. They cannot be trusted to hold a government up.
Where's the leadership?
Yeah,
Like,
if they cannot agree with each other, that's fine.
It's
You
just-
guys can't run in the next
Yeah,
election. We'll
I
get
agree.
another two. If they can't, then you can go back into this one after you've thought about what you did.
yeah, pretty much, 100%.
So
Theresa May should just slap them about. Like, I mean, that's just what should happen. I'm sorry, the woman's just not. She's just not there. She's really not. She should help us out. Like, we can't do anything else. All we can do is vote.
the thing as well, though, is that a lot of what we're actually talking about, in terms of almost being socially disadvantaged by not being able to have a government at the moment,
Yeah,
like some of this can lead to like actual mental health problems.
Yeah.
Like a lot of common causes would be, as I mentioned already, the social disadvantage.
Yep.
People that are in debt can obviously cause a lot of stress. Discrimination. People that are, I don't know, slightly different for whatever reason.
well, even being in like having a friendship just completely just dissipate after like 2 seconds as well can completely send you spiraling. Like any small thing to someone else could be a massive thing to,
Yep.
to the other person. It's just there's just so many factors and so many things that could happen that could just flick a switch and that could be you.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, to be honest, the list it's really, they're quite serious, to be honest. There's like, childhood abuse and things like that, but some of the things that are like really, really,
But that's normal today.
it
That's
is.
what people call normal, and it's just so stupid. Oh, they've been abused as a child. Yeah, sad for them, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's
that's just
horrible.
not the attitude to have. I'm sorry, but take yourself out of here. Like, I cannot stand it because you hear it in the news all the time, and it's just people like brush it off. They just go, yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's good it wasn't me, then, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
that's just not funny.
yeah,
Like, I know people. We all have jokes. Like, everyone's prone to them. Like, we all have jokes. It doesn't matter. We all have that sort of sense of humor and stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, you shouldn't. It's not. It's frowned upon. That's just what it is.
yeah,
But there's loads of different. Like, I mean, as a kid, you could be hurt. You could be dropped as a kid, which could affect the brain,
yeah,
which could eventually form into having disorders, ADHD and stuff, or it could just be hereditary. It could be genetics. It could
Yep.
be there's any god's amount of
loneliness,
things. Loneliness as well. But then as well here, I think the majority, personally, that's just only my opinion. I obviously don't know this, but people in Northern Ireland, like, there's a big drug problem. Like, and we all know that. Like, it's not hidden or anything like that. But not saying that the majority of suicides are down to drugs, but definitely an awful lot of people that are living in this country, I wouldn't say they do drugs, but they're definitely around that sort of environment, which is kind of unfortunate. But substance abuse can completely lead to fatal injuries. Like, that's just what can happen.
yeah,
There's
it
been
can
things
also,
up in Belfast and stuff, and you can hear all over the place people drinking.
yeah,
There's a fella chops some boys up with a sword and all. And there's so many stories like you just wouldn't believe. You'd think it's in a film,
yeah,
and it's just not acceptable. Like, I mean, if you think you're doing damage to someone else, just take a step back and try and help yourself before you can get back into society, or try and talk to somebody, or try and do something.
exactly. Because it'll always come back to, I suppose, full circle to what we said at the start.
It is. It's
just
what
talk.
it is, yeah.
Just talk to someone, because there's always going to be someone that'll help. I mean, and like, as we said, if you're not comfortable talking to
friends, there's your family as well. I mean, if you don't want to talk to your family or friends, there are specialists out there. You can talk to the different lines. Have you got a wee thing there with all the?
Yeah, we'll post it on there.
Post
We'll
it
post it on the video because
descriptions,
there's a lot of numbers and things. Obviously,
We did with the last video as well. We posted it in the
yeah,
last.
we
in the
posted
description.
some underneath. As I say, we'll put up a post on Facebook and stuff as well, just in case anyone needs anything on it. And don't forget, obviously, you know, Pips, Nadia spoke about them.
Yeah. Did great work.
You can drop in there. They actually do home visits as well. There's always someone there, basically, as Nadia said, to talk to if ever you're feeling down or if
There's
you ever
always
need,
someone
if you need
around.
help. Yeah, but I mean, as we say, if you really want to speak to someone, you know, that's had that experience, you know, maybe you're thinking, oh, my friends won't understand, blah blah blah. That's fine. Go and talk to someone in Pips. Talk to someone on the phone. You know, there's Samaritans if you're really feeling down. I seen actually the other day that there's a number you can text.
Yeah.
And somebody will text with you.
Yeah. Because the people they have anxiety talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So if you don't want to talk, you can text.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just, you know, obviously we don't want this to be all like doom and gloom because
Mental health isn't a sad problem.
yeah,
Like,
it's not. It's nothing to be embarrassed about.
It's resolvable. 100%. It's not easy, but it's definitely a path that everyone should hop on and at least try and get, if they have someone down or, you know, have depression or anxiety, just try and get them to the end of that path. And it's not hard for you if you can just help them. It's harder for them 10 times more than what it would be for you if you're just trying to help the person. If even if there's a community of people just got together, it's not hard. Like,
exactly.
People just have to deal with it head on, and it's just a shame that we don't really have anything. Well, don't really have any ambassadors really at the minute, do we? Because there's no one about.
No, but I mean, I suppose it literally comes down to something we've probably said 100 times in this, is just is that you matter. So never think you don't, because you do, and be that to your parents or your friends or family members, teacher,
even to your pet.
You know, definitely to your pet.
Your pet, you mean if you have a dog, don't you ever think about jumping anywhere. I'll be telling you that dog will be running after you as well. God help the dog, like. But no, it's true. You matter to literally everyone, and I know it's pretty hard to think about that because, you know, self-worth is, well, it's pretty hard these days. Like, everyone has like, you go on social media and you're instantly put down because everyone else is better than you. That's just what social media does to you, which is, what I recommend is just getting off Facebook and Twitter completely.
Except for our page, obviously.
Except for our page, because you need to be on there. That's the pinnacle of Facebook. This is what you need to have. But yeah, take yourself off Facebook even for a week and just see how you go, you know.
Like Thursday to Thursday, and then you'll get 2 episodes on that Friday.
Exactly. And both of them will, it doesn't matter what the subject is, they'll just make you happier.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because it's just hearing our two dullard voices are the best, like. But no, we just wanted to raise awareness this week for mental health, and hopefully we've done that with this episode. But if you've had any sort of positivity out of this episode, then please let us know. If you have any negativity out of this episode, then please let us know if we've said anything wrong or anything like that. But
correct us,
correct us in any shape or form. Then, but hopefully it has helped everyone. But we just want to thank everyone for joining us this week.
Yep.
Cheerio, folks.
Bye.